Hurricane Irma is a Cat 4 right now. It looks like it is nestled over Cuba, getting close to hitting Florida. Not far from Florida, actually, especially the southern tip. Now, earlier reports showed that this hurricane was going to go up the East Coast, starting with Florida, then Georgia, and then possibly even into Tennessee. Some models showed it going up into the New York area. There were even a couple models that showed it going back out into the Atlantic. Now, as I've been saying for a few days now, the way that the jet streams are moving and the way that this storm is headed, it looks to me like it's going to go in between Florida, Cuba, and possibly regain some steam or cause some havoc out here in the Gulf of Mexico. Maybe by Alabama, Louisiana, maybe even Texas again, heaven forbid. Houston, Gulf Coast, Port Aransas, places like that are still licking the wounds and going through a lot right now. So I feel for you guys. Now you'll also notice that the one hurricane that we had out here by Mexico has dissipated. Cutia. Is that how it's pronounced? It's gone, thank goodness. And Hurricane Jose is actually just about as strong as Hurricane Irma right now. Let's look at some of the wind speeds here. Showing the kilometers, about 133 kilometers an hour right here. Where that green circle is, that's the speed, the wind speeds. We take it over here to Irma, and it's about the same, about 135 kilometers, 131 kilometers, 139 kilometers. So it's staying right around there. It's not as intense as it was. I think that the Marshmallow Man that we made the other day, that titanium, graphene, diamond Marshmallow Man, that we said push this thing away, well, it's at least keeping it calm right now, and we haven't had to bust out the request for Dr. Manhattan just yet. Let's hope. I was taking a shower yesterday, and I was focusing my energies. I was closing my eyes, and I was imagining my hand was just humongous. Hello. And it was pushing away the hurricane. It was literally pushing the hurricane gently, nicely back into the Atlantic. Not even pushing, just maneuvering it, like in a very kind fashion. I'm not going after the hurricane with anger. I'm going after the hurricane with love. And it's like, okay, let's just move over here a few hundred miles. Let's just move out this way just a bit. And that way we won't have to worry about causing so much devastation along the coast. Let's just go back out into the Atlantic. Pushing ourselves back into the Atlantic. We're going to stay in calm and then go back into the ocean, be a part of the earth again. All right, so Cuba still getting slammed. Is this in retaliation? Are they doing some weather war manipulation and retaliation of what Cuba was doing to the diplomats out there? Remember that? I don't know. Let's just hope that this thing doesn't go in between Cuba, Florida, gain more steam, turn back into a Cat 5 again, and then pummel the coast. When I talked to Anna and Brian yesterday, very nice people, they went out to Houston to help those in need, and they had a very interesting story to tell, to say the least, about what was actually going on out there, how much it was like Armageddon, The Walking Dead. We are in The Walking Dead right now. Most people are walking dead, and they don't even realize it. Isn't that sad? Is there a way that we could offer them a spark of life that they might have hidden inside of themselves by opening a part of their minds, by asking them a specific question or giving them a morsel of information? I don't know. Someone said to me one time, they said, Rex, I like you, but why do you always say, what if? What if? The reason I do that is by asking questions instead of answering all the questions that I ask. A lot of times people come up with their own answers. They start asking those questions themselves, which come to conclusions and answers and information and data, which helps them evolve. And it's kind of fun. What if? What if? So that's why. And what if... wouldn't it be cool if Marshmallow Man completely pushed Irma back into the Atlantic? Because Marshmallow Man is pushing Irma down right now. Marshmallow Man is slowing Irma down. Not completely, but I also think that Marshmallow Man is doing it in a fashion that's not going to be... like he's not battling Irma. They're working together. They're working together. Marshmallows and hurricanes, graphene, diamonds, and titanium, all working together. Now, if this does happen to sneak through, which it looks like it's attempting to sneak through here, then it could get a little bit, could get hairy. Could get hairy. So, especially, I mean, what is it like for those in Cuba right now that are in 100? Okay, so let's see what the wind speeds are like over the land. 80 kilometers an hour, 75 kilometers an hour, 57 kilometers an hour. That's pretty dang fast. 81, 103. Look at that, 103 miles an hour. I'm sorry, 103 kilometers an hour right now. Continually. Not for 5 seconds, not for 10 seconds. Going and going and going and going. And you now want to become a premium member at EliteProject.com. Just joking, but you do if you haven't already. And thank you for everybody that already has. Wow, this is hypnotic, is it not? Like already in alpha state right now, just staring at it. I'm talking to you guys. Beta state. Alpha state. I like alpha state more. Yeah, we'll stay with that. So, what do you think is going to happen? Are you prepared? You got some water? Do you got some water filtration? Do you have... I have a lot of duct tape, okay? So I could actually cover myself in duct tape and just float. I could make a duct tape raft. I could make a duct tape kayak, a duct tape boat. I could duct tape... My chair already has so much duct tape on it, I could probably use this thing as a boat. So stock up on duct tape. It's used for all sorts of good things. Now let's take a look at the wind speeds probabilities. This is from the nhc.noaa.gov. And also go to this website, earth.nullschool.net. This will give you... I'll leave the link in the video description box. I just became a meteorologist, an amateur meteorologist, out of my garage a couple weeks ago. And I've learned a lot already, so... Hello! This right here. This is what I find extremely interesting. Is, remember, I kept saying, this thing, I don't see it going up the East Coast as much as I do popping in here. At least naturally, anyway. So let's take a look at it. Currently, we're at a Cat 4. This is about 30 to 40 different models. And you can see the... Here, I'll show you the model. Let's zoom out of this a little bit. Okay, so you see all these models. TCLP, TCOA, TCOE, TCON, TVCA, da-da-da-da-da. You can look up all these and see exactly what they mean, because they all have a specific set of parameters that creates these models. So this isn't one model, this isn't two, this is about 40 of them. And let's take a look. Let's see what we got. Will you just look at it? Wow, my stomach just growled. Did you hear that? It's hungry. Hungry, hungry, hungry. Got up this morning. I slept in a little bit today, actually. Slept in a little bit. And every time I wake up, I get excited because I know I have an opportunity to share with you guys new information, and in return I get to learn new information oftentimes. I love it. I think it's exciting. So here we go. We just look at it. See if I can make this a little bit. Okay. Now, just yesterday when we looked at all these forecasts, the majority of these lines were further east. Many of them are skirting the outside of Florida. Now, the majority of these are going inwards, which is what the jet patterns show. Let's say that it scoots in and heads towards Louisiana or towards Texas again, or even Alabama or Georgia or Florida, any of this, all of this around here, the Gulf Coast, the coastal areas, wake up, guys. Come on. Wake up. 2017. We got the technologies. We have the abilities. Let's think long term. Let's think future generations. Let's think of how we can improve upon the coast to the point of when this stuff happens, these structures and technologies will be there to harness the planet's energies, not be destroyed by the planet's energies. It takes a little bit of a tweak in your mind. Tweak your mind a little bit. Are you an engineer? Are you an inventor? Are you a construction worker? Are you a homeowner? Are you somebody that is actually considering building on the coast? Are you somebody that has lots of money that owns a construction company that builds on the coast? Are you somebody that is an inventor that is working for a laboratory coming up with new inventions on technologies on how to make things stronger and lighter that don't use as much natural resources? Well, what you waiting for? Like, I'll give you an example on how a business can be good, like, and have a good start, but gets taken over by shit, or the people that work there are just stupid and they bring the business down. Yesterday, I went out and picked me up a new microphone stand, and I would like to give a personal thank you to the person that sent me a contribution to pick up a microphone stand. She actually sent me even more than what the microphone stand cost. So I was able to pick up a microphone. It's a universal microphone adaptation piece that actually allows my microphone to hook up to the stand. Because before, when I left my microphone stand at the hotel, I also left that piece that connects to my microphone. And the microphone that I have is a real nice microphone. It's an RE20. I mean, it's about top of the line when it comes to microphones. People are like, well, why do you have it duct taped to a baseball bat? Because that's just how I roll. But now I have a very nice microphone stand / connection piece, so I don't have to hold the mic with my bat. And I would like to say thank you very much. It makes it a lot easier to talk to you guys with some professional equipment. Now, I would like to be able to go on scene when there is a breaking story. Now, what would be the best way to do that? Have a mobile studio, in my opinion. Now, I do have Frankenstein. And Frankenstein, you know, it's an Astrovan. It's an extended Astrovan. It's probably one of the coolest Astrovans you'll ever see. It's about 22 years old. And thing looks like a sportsmobile, like a cheap person's sportsmobile, where, you know, it's lifted a few inches, it's all-wheel drive, it's got the beefy tires, so if I need to go off-roading a bit to get a story, I can do that also. However, it's difficult to stay in this van for long periods of time and do podcasts out of the van as well. So I'm thinking about getting a motorhome and traveling the country extensively in this motorhome. And then this way I could be on site, on scene, for a period of time without having to spend $100, $200 a day just to be on the road. Because it's expensive to travel. It is really expensive. With that being said, where am I going with this? If anybody out there is interested in being a part of this, being a part of Leak Project, and you have some monies to kick down, this might be an opportunity for you. I see this going into, I've got some friends that are actually producers and directors, so I could see this being something that could be on cable TV, on multiple networks, possibly the Discovery Channel, possibly the History Channel, different outlets, you know, maybe Netflix. Because a lot of programs and TV shows and documentaries that are coming out now are more on the fringe side. They still tend to keep it at that minimal level, though. I want to take it to the next level. I want to bring information, data, and a whole new spectrum of ideas to the mainstream. Currently, we're reaching about 3 million views a month on Leak Project, on the Leak Project YouTube channel, youtube.com/clandestine Time Lord. I would like to see that go up to 3 million a day. The more people that listen to the show, if we stay on the right track, and we will, and we are on the right track, this is one of the most efficient ways to change the world, in my opinion, with the resources that we currently have. Because if you can bring somebody's mind to a new level, give them new opportunities, new ideas, new information to come up with new opportunities, new ideas, a lot of times that information will literally change that person and take them places that they never even thought about going before. We continue to spread information, to spread good energy, good vibes, have a message of continuality, balance, harmony, evolution, constantly changing, constantly moving, constantly improving, because once we stay still, we become stagnant. Somebody asked me a great question the other day, a very good question. When do we stop and say, look, we've got enough technology, enough is enough? That's a great question, because if you think about it, we do have enough stuff right now that we live pretty darn comfortably, most of us. Even people that are considered in poverty status, a lot of them still live pretty dang good compared to people from around the world. So what would it take to just finally stop? I think if we got to that point where we just stopped improving technologies and coming out with new ideas and inventions and opportunities, I think that's bad. Because when you become stagnant, you stop learning, you stop growing, you stop living, in my opinion. One thing that I do agree with about that Ray Kurzweil has written about before is, if you read his book, The Singularity, at the beginning of the book, he talks about how he thinks that there will always be an opposite to something that will be just as powerful. So even if somebody comes up with this invention of doom and gloom, this weapon that could just do utter devastation, complete devastation, he feels there's always going to be something out there that can counteract that. And that kind of makes me think of this totally makes me think of this dualistic universe that we live in. Every opposite, for every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. You hear the saying, no good deed goes unpunished. The polarities that we reside in work in unison, even though it seems like they're opposites, which they are at the same time. Figure that one out. That funnels this, that fuels this life, this reality, this dimension. And even if we go to another dimension after this one, a higher level of existence, this one still needs to stay intact. This one still needs to stay solid and balance and harmony and 50-50. Otherwise, it could affect the rest of the dimensions that are out there, because they're all connected at some level, at some quantum level. So if we continue to learn, if we continue to grow, if we continue to use our imaginations and our minds, and if we continue to have balance, and if we continue to use a formula that has people's best interests at heart, the planet's best interests at heart. I do believe the planet has a heart. Maybe not like you and me, but I believe the planet is a living being that helps feed us and clothe us and helps us survive. We're like fleas on a dog sometimes. Let's don't be like fleas on a dog. Let's don't be fleas on a dog. Let's be something that gets rid of the. Thank you for listening to my rant. Be safe wherever you go. Take precautionary measures so that in the future, if something like this happens and you have short notice, because if you think about it, Harvey, how much notice did people really have about Hurricane Harvey? It seems like it just happened really quick. They were using North Korea, hydrogen bomb, North Korea, Kim Jong Un. Oh no, they're gonna bomb America. They're gonna bomb America. That was what the media was pushing, not Hurricane Harvey that much. Even in Texas, they weren't. I'm here in Texas, although I very rarely watch the mainstream news because it's a propaganda machine at its finest. I will pick up bits and pieces on the net, and when I do watch it on the television, on the Tell-Lie-Vision, I can only handle so much. My hair literally starts to like get hot. My head wants to light on fire while I listen to these guys spew verbal vomit and brainwashing neurolinguistic programming mechanisms on the masses. They're not sheeps. They're not sheep in wolves' clothing. They're not sheep in wolves' clothing. They're not wolves. They're zombies. They're mind-controlled zombies. There's the difference. Sheep at least offer something of benefit. Zombies, what do they offer of benefit? Well, I'm not going to say it. Question everything, ladies and gentlemen. Be the change you want to see. If you haven't subscribed already, make sure to click that subscribe button. YouTube.com/ClandestineTimeLord. Also, if you go to LeakProject.com, you'll get access to dozens of premium content podcasts, as well as 1,200 podcasts, downloadable, streamable, ad-free. And that is my shameless plug.